This video explains how to move an x-axis to the top of a plot using the R programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you two examples, and both of these examples are based on the data frame that we can create with lines 2 to 3 of the code. So after running these lines of code, a new data set is appearing at the top right, which is called data. And if you click on this data set, a new window is opened, which is showing the structure of our data frame. And as you can see, our data frame contains 6 rows and the 2 columns X and Y. And both of these columns contain numeric values. Now, if we want to draw these data using base R, we can use the plot function, as you can see in line 5 of the code. So within the plot function, we need to specify our two variables X and Y. So if you run line 5 of the code, you can see at the bottom right of RStudio that a new scatter plot is shown, which is containing the 6 data points in our data frame. And you can see that at this point, the x-axis is shown at the bottom of the plot. So if we want to move this x-axis to the top of the plot, then we can use the plot function once again, as you can see in lines 7 and 8. In line 7 of the code, I'm once again specifying our two variables X and Y. However, this time I'm also using the xaxt argument, and I'm setting this argument to be equal to the character n. And what this does can be shown by running these lines of code, because after running lines 7 and 8 of the code, you can see that the x-axis was removed from our plot. And now in the next step, in line 9 of the code, we can apply the axis function to show our x-axis at a different position. And if we want to show the x-axis at the top of the plot, we need to specify the value 3 within the axis function. So after running line 9 of the code, you can see that our x-axis is added once again to the plot. However, this time it is shown at the top of the plot. So in this first example, I have explained how to move the x-axis to the top of a base R plot. However, it's also possible to move the x-axis of a ggplot2 plot to the top, and this is what I want to show you in the next example, starting in line 11 of the code. So in lines 11 and 12 of the code, I'm first installing and loading the ggplot2 package. I have installed the package already, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 12 of the code. And then in the next step, in lines 14 and 15, we can use the ggplot and gonPoint functions to create a ggplot2 scatter plot with default specifications. So after running these lines of code, you can see that a new plot object is appearing at the top right, which is called ggp. And we can now draw this plot to the bottom right of RStudio by running line 16 of the code. And then you can see that we have created a scatter plot based on our data frame, which contains an x-axis at the bottom of the plot. Now, if we want to move this x-axis to the top of the plot, we can use our plot object ggp that we have created before. And then we can add to this the scaleXContinuous function, and within this function we need to specify the position argument to be equal to top. So after running lines 18 and 19 of the code, you can see that our plot is updated, and this time the x-axis is shown at the top of the plot. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage, statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.